It's very easy, obviously, to get an impact of the war when you're traveling through areas that have been conflict affected, where there's a lot of destruction, where there's been airstrikes. But it's the impact on the wider civilian population that you often don't really get to see. Abdulaziz is a 9-year-old boy in Hodeidah hospital, and as you can see from the footage, he's suffering from severe acute malnutrition. Well, obviously, it was very shocking to see a young boy in a state like that. He is skeletally thin, and he was lifeless, just lying there whilst the doctors were trying to administer glucose to him. His female family members were with him, and they'd been unable to bring him into the hospital any sooner because of the cost of getting him to the hospital. There are many children like him that I saw whilst I was there. The hospital is actually overflowing, quite literally, with patients. And so our Thara hospital, normally before the war, was taking in sort of 700 patients or treating 700 patients a day, and now they're treating around 2,500 patients a day. And you could see that so clearly in the hospital. It was like a bus station. You walked in there and it's elbow to elbow, people just barging through the corridors trying to get access to medical care.
We are overwhelmed by the number of patients and lack of drugs and medical solutions, and the increase of diesel prices and fuel, and the increase of the exchange rate of the dollar. We have 5 generators operating 24 hours a day, and it's not enough to operate the central air conditioning system. We are suffering from that, especially the operating theater room needs air conditioning 24 hours.
In that particular hospital, the staff hadn't been paid for more than a year. The government salaries haven't been paid. So effectively, they're working as volunteers. When I was walking around the hospital with the director, people in the corridors, staff, were stopping him, begging for money, essentially. And he wasn't able to give them anything. The hospital is struggling just to operate. And the director of the hospital said to me, you know, if this continues on this sort of level, for the next 6 months, they don't know if they'll be able to cope in 6 months' time, that the hospital even will still be open.